So, you've probably heard The Great Gatsby called the great American novel, right? But what's it really about? Well, it's kind of like a ghost story, a love story, and a massive tragedy all rolled into one, set against the backdrop of the crazy, glittering, roaring 20s. So let's peel back the layers on all those wild parties, the obsessive love, and the heartbreak to figure out what really makes this classic story tick.
The book kicks off with this little poem, and you know what? It's basically the key to the whole story right there on page 1. It's all about performance. It's about putting on a show. This gold hat, all to win over one person. This little quote just perfectly lays the groundwork for everything we're about to see. Wealth, illusion, and this just all-consuming desire.
And that whole idea of performance, of putting on a show, leads us right to the book's biggest mystery. It's the question that our narrator, Nick Carraway, is asking, and frankly, it's what everyone is dying to know. Just who is this Jay Gatsby guy?
I mean, just picture it. It's the summer of 1922. Every single weekend, this enormous mansion just lights up. Music is blasting, and hundreds of people are partying their hearts out till the sun comes up. That's Gatsby's life. But here's the crazy part. The host? He's a total mystery. Kind of like a ghost at his own party. No one has a clue where he came from or where his money came from. And honestly, that mystery is the most exciting thing there.
And get this. These rumors aren't coming from people who hate him. No, what's so wild is that they're coming from the very people at his parties. The ones drinking his free champagne are the same ones saying, "Oh, I heard he killed a man," or "He was a German spy." They're spinning these incredible stories, turning him into this larger-than-life legend before they've even shaken his hand.
Okay, so to really get the main conflict in this book, you gotta understand the setting. It's all about these two places, West Egg and East Egg. Think of West Egg as new money. It's flashy, it's loud, it's Gatsby. Then you've got East Egg. That's old money. It's classy, snooty, and has been rich forever. That's where Tom and Daisy Buchanan live. They're only separated by a little bit of water, but in terms of social class, man, they are on different planets.
So, our narrator, Nick, moves in next door to Gatsby, and one of the first things he sees is his neighbor standing all by himself in the dark, just stretching his arms out toward the water. It's a really weird gesture. Nick looks out to see what he's reaching for, and he can't make out anything except for a single green light, way, way off in the distance.
And this is where we get to the heart of it all. That green light, it's not just some random light on a dock. For Gatsby, it's everything. It's this magical symbol of his one and only dream. Why? Because that light is at the end of Daisy Buchanan's dock. She's the reason for all of this.
So, what's the history here? Well, 5 years before our story starts, Gatsby was just a young, poor army officer, and Daisy was the town's golden girl. They fell madly in love. But then he had to go off to war. And, well, he had no money. Daisy couldn't wait, so she married this incredibly wealthy, powerful guy, Tom Buchanan. And ever since that day, Gatsby has had one single goal in life: get crazy rich and win her back.
And that's when you realize, the whole thing, all of it, it's a show. The giant house, the insane parties, all that jazz, it wasn't just for fun. It was all a ridiculously elaborate trap designed to catch the attention of just one person. Every party was basically a giant signal fire, hoping she'd see it from across the bay.
So after all that, how does he finally see her again? Not at some blowout party. Nope, his entire grand scheme comes down to a super awkward tea party at Nick's tiny house. And Gatsby, the guy who throws these epic ragers, is just totally terrified, pale as a ghost, finally seeing Daisy again after 5 long years.
Later, he's showing Daisy his mansion, trying to impress her, and he does this amazing, weird thing. He just starts throwing piles of his fancy, expensive shirts everywhere. And Daisy's reaction is, she starts crying, sobbing actually. And you're thinking, over shirts. But it's not about the shirts, is it? It's about what they represent. They're physical proof of the money, the life, the version of Gatsby she could have had.
And for a little while, just for a moment, it seems like he did it. The dream is real. He has Daisy in his arms, in his house. And suddenly, that magical green light he's been staring at for years, it's just a regular old light on a dock. The magic is gone because he thinks he has the real thing. He thinks he's finally won. But here's the thing. Gatsby doesn't just want Daisy back. He wants to turn back the clock. He wants to completely erase the last 5 years, pretend they never existed. And that brings us to the absolute core question of this whole book. Is it actually possible to repeat the past? And Gatsby's answer to that question
It's a passionate, almost crazy, of course you can. He truly 100% believes that with enough money and enough willpower, you can literally force the past to happen all over again, but this time, get it right.
And that belief, that obsession, is what leads us to the climax of the whole story. It all comes to a head on the hottest day of the summer, with everyone crammed into this stuffy hotel room at the plaza. You can just feel the tension in the air. It's so thick you could cut it with a knife, and you just know something is about to snap.
So, Gatsby goes for it. He lays it all out there. He tells Tom right to his face, "Your wife doesn't love you." But he doesn't stop there. He says she's never loved you. She only loves me. He's not just trying to win her for the future, he's trying to rewrite their entire history. But Tom's no fool. He doesn't throw a punch. He hits Gatsby where it hurts, with the one weapon Gatsby doesn't have, their shared history. He starts bringing up all these little memories, these inside jokes, things only he and Daisy would know. He's basically using their past together as a shield.
And right there, that's the moment it all falls apart. The pressure is too much for Daisy. She blurts out that she can't do what Gatsby wants. She says, "I love you now," but then she admits it, "I did love him once." And for Gatsby, who needed her love to be this pure, unbroken thing, that one little sentence just shatters his entire fantasy into a million pieces.
And just like that, it's over. Tom won. He knows it. He completely broke Gatsby's spell. And in this ultimate power move, he basically tells Gatsby, "Go on, drive my wife home." He's so sure of himself, so sure he's won, that he's not even threatened by them anymore.
From that moment on, everything spirals downwards fast. It's like a horrible domino effect. On the drive home, a totally distraught Daisy is behind the wheel of Gatsby's car. She hits and kills Tom's mistress, Myrtle, who runs out into the road. Gatsby, in one last, desperate act of love, says he'll take the blame. And that's all Tom needs. He tells Myrtle's husband that it was Gatsby who was driving, and well, it leads to the final awful tragedy. The husband finds Gatsby at his mansion, shoots him while he's floating in his pool, and then kills himself.
So after all that, after a life dedicated to throwing parties for hundreds and hundreds of people, how many of those people showed up to his funeral? You want to guess? The answer is 0. Not a single one. The man whose house was the center of the universe died completely and totally alone. It's just devastating.
And what about Tom and Daisy? Well, our narrator Nick has some final, savage words for them. He calls them careless people. He says they're the kind of people who just smash things up and then just hide behind their giant pile of money, letting someone else clean up the mess they made. It's a brutal and honestly timeless critique.
But here's where the story gets bigger than just one man's tragedy. Nick starts to see that Gatsby's whole quest for that green light, it's not just about a girl. It's about something we all chase. It's the American dream, right? That idea of a better, brighter future that's always shimmering just ahead of us, always just a little bit out of our grasp.
And the book ends with one of the most famous, most haunting lines in all of literature. It really leaves you wondering, are we all a little bit like Gatsby? Are we all spending our lives paddling as hard as we can towards some future dream, only to find that the current of our own past is always pulling us back?